If we all went and bought houses before 2020 happened, we'd all be multi-millionaires as investors.
What are the first 2 steps that somebody can do right now to get started investing in, whether it's modular housing, whatever we're doing here? What's the first step that they need to do?
I think the first step is making a decision. That's the first thing, is the mindset. Why are you doing it? Why do we want to go this route of investing? Why do we want to go with something that's not traditional? Second step is, in real estate, when it comes to buying and selling real estate, one thing that I could leave you here with today is that I was taught from the very beginning is location, location, location. It doesn't matter what you build. It doesn't matter. It's all about location, location, location. It's just because it's your hometown doesn't mean that's the right location. Just helps production out back know exactly what your change orders are.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Tiny Home Podcast, powered by Saddlebrooke Life. Today we got an awesome episode about why modular housing is taking over the rental space. Today, let's get right into it. We got some stories on what we're actually doing in the true market, what I'm seeing out there. I just got off the phone yesterday with a leasing agent, and we're talking about why our modular housing are taking over the industry, why they're more, for investors, why they're more appealing versus building something stick-built on site. Before we get in the episode, though, I want to say, hey, go follow us on our Instagram, our TikTok, our YouTube channel. Go subscribe, go follow, and then you can see everything that we're building. Colton, welcome to the show. Let's go over why modular houses are outperforming traditional real estate and crushing it as rentals.
Well, I think it's all obvious. The first thing is definitely, traditional real estate, whether it's new construction, whether it's old construction, traditional real estate, it takes time to get your investment back. The good thing about modular is when you're doing your horizontal, like we're doing horizontal right now, me and you, as we speak. And here's what I want to tell the audience. We're not just two people that are talking about it, wanting to sell you the product. We're actually doing it. You can come look at what we're doing. We're doing it ourselves. And that's the beauty of not only, having a machine like we have back here is we can sell to the public, or we can also build for ourselves as well, which is great. It's a great machine that we have. But the best thing is the time to market. Mm-hmm. Back to your story in Texas here, local markets, and what's the leasing agents saying? They're outperforming every other rental in the market. Why? One, it's been less than 4 or 5 months. They're already rented. They are full, 100% occupancy. They're getting more rent by the square foot than anything around it. Why? They're new. They're still 2-bed, 2-bath. And I want you to talk about, this project that we had going on that, Saddlebrooke comes in, our investor, even is letting us do the horizontal, and we're not even done with the project.
And they're not evil.
Yep. 25% finished with the project. And the ones that we've set on the ground, they're already, 100% occupancy. Wait, you can't even
cost.
Yeah, we're not even 25% done with the whole project, and they're already, everything's rented out.
Mm-hmm. So we got started talking about traditional housing, your stick-built housing. What's the difference between our housing and stick-built housing? And then we got into townhomes, we got into duplexes, triplexes, and we got started talking. And I was like, hey, how long is it taking you to rent out one of our 2-bedroom, 2-bath? They're around 700 square feet. Your cost is very affordable because it's a separate unit. You set it on versus a stick-built. A stick-built is going to take you 6 months to a year to get it built. And then if it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, you cannot get any more money for that 3-bedroom, 2-bath than ours at 1,000 square feet, or even a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot home, stick-built, versus a 700 square feet, which is what we're doing on this project. So we were talking, and I'm like, stick-built, tell me about, how many stick-built single-family homes is on the market for rent versus what's on the market for rent for one of our housing. And he got into this, our houses that we're doing for a project for an investor. He said that within 30 days, first phase was completely rented out. And I'm like, what's so appealing? He's like, well, these units are separate, number one. you're not sharing a space with anybody else. You got a parking spot and everything. The investor is the cost is half, and people want their own space. But what the biggest thing is, like, no matter if it's 700 square feet or 1,500 square feet, it's still 2-bedroom, and you're getting the same amount of rent for that 2-bedroom, 700 square feet versus something you get 1,200 square feet. And if it's still 2-bedroom, 2-bath, there's only a certain amount of rent that you can get for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And you're going to be limited out. So he was like, these are way more affordable for investor to make sure the ROI looks good versus building something on site that's going to take you 8 months to a year to get the project going. And then you start pre-leasing. There's just a lot going on with a stick built versus modular. And I think that's the reason a lot of investors are not looking, they haven't caught on to what's actually happening within a smaller unit. Because if you have, I'm just going to throw out some numbers. If you have $100,000 in a unit versus $180,000 in a house, and you're getting the same amount of rent, which one are you going to go with?
But Kyle, let's say the average home median price, if you're an investor, you're going to buy under, average median home price. Is like $400 and something thousand. I haven't checked it lately. But if you spend $400,000 with a, average, if your commercial loans average 7.5%, 8% interest loans, your payment on that's going to be upwards, more than $3,000 a month. But if you're in the rental market that you can only get $2,800, those are not even that, for a 3.2, you can maybe, I have a personal house, 30-year mortgage, 6.2% interest rate, and I'm sitting at $2,800 a month. But if I looked at renting that one out, I might, with utilities, might be able to get $2,000 a month. So right off the bat, I'm $800 negative. So the single family market is not really working unless you buy below 150 a square foot or below. But then we go into, all right, what can you buy for $150 a square foot? 9 times out of 10, it's going to be junk. You're going to have to renovate. Then you have money in the renovations. You never know what you get into, whether it's mold, needs new electric, plumbing, the foundation's bad, needs a new roof. And all of a sudden you have $200 a square foot in it, and you're upside down on your investment, and you're looking at 15, 20 year turnaround time to get your initial investment back. Versus I was talking to a guy yesterday. He's bought from us for the last I would say 4 years, just constantly kept buying, flipping the properties, and me and him were talking about what's the difference in our mobile homes versus our homes.
Because he's bought both of them.
He's bought both. And I'm like, all right, Todd, what's the experience that you had with both? Well, one is the mobile homes were definitely cheaper. I'm like, okay, great. So he was like, by the time I make any of my own money back, I have to go back in there and renovate the whole entire thing. So I'll be out another initial investment by the time I just earn what I gave for it. Versus I'm like, okay, well, what about the, the modulars? And he was like, well, I looked at the math. They actually math out a little bit better because in 5-10 years, I'm not going to have to go and remodel because,
it's built like a real home.
They're built like a real house. And so in the long run, we actually even come up, upwards of better rates than a mobile home. And, people still think of a mobile home as, trailer trash. They're not. They're just a mobile home. The cabinets don't feel like real cabinets. The trim is a 1/4-inch thick. They start peeling the floor. If you look at TikTok, I'm not bashing anyone, but if you look at some of the largest brands of TikTok or of mobile homes, you can see mold in the breaker panels, mold everywhere. There's stuff leaking, bad quality. And so when you look at mobile home, manufactured homes, older houses, stuff like that, you're not gonna be in the best spot if you're an investor unless you own an RV park or a mobile home park and you want to flip it, get everything rented out, and then sell on a cap rate 100%. Go do it all day long. But what we're talking about is the modular homes are outperforming a lot of the real estate right now, unless you're doing 400 unit apartment complex.
Right. Totally different game. But so basically, these modulars are getting, actually, this last project, we're doing it in the middle of the city. We got it. It's in the city. but outside of city limits. So we're putting them, we're stacking them in there, and they're getting pre-leased. We're doing it in 4 different phases. They're getting pre-leased. They're getting leased before we're even done with the projects. And so the ROI, because the biggest thing is if you build something, how fast can you get it rented out? Because you need to get it filled up. So that was the biggest, I think one of the biggest scares for real estate investors, people looking to get started into investing, is they just don't know where to start. They don't know which asset class do you want to get started in. Do you want to get started in single family, multifamily, big apartments, or do you mobile home parks? Do you get invested in this modular housing? Modular housing is, you really can get, it's kind of works the same as a duplex. We can do duplexes in a modular, but the build time is where you can get a lot of your money back because it cuts down on your costs, that's everything. If you can cut down on
timing,
time.
If you can get in the market, I can't stress it enough. If you can get in the market in half the time than a traditional stick built, you're automatically, you're set up for win. Who says it? John Maxwell, I think, says if you want to be better than most people in your industry, wake up earlier than that. If you wake up at 5 o'clock, you've already got 90% of the population by just waking up at 5 o'clock. It's the same thing about real estate. If we all went and bought houses before 2020 happened, we'd all be multi-millionaires as investors. Why? Because housing, the home median price was down a lot. Would have bought apartments and stuck it out through COVID. People didn't know what was going on. It's kind of like a black swan moment. But when's the best time to buy real estate? You mentioned when, we have these new investors, they don't even know what asset class to look at. How do we appraise a modular home community? How do we appraise a build to rent community? Guys, you're not alone in this industry. Like, we've done it. We're here for you guys.
Mm-hmm. We might
doing it as we speak.
Might give a couple steps of, how do you get started? How would someone get started? Can I start with 5 modulars instead of starting on 20 modulars? Can I start with 5?
People already have the land, but they just, they don't know where to start.
How do you get started? Can you put these out? Do you have to be in the middle of the city, or can you put rentals out closer, outskirts of town, maybe closer to a city and closer to a highway? I believe that you can, and we're doing it. We're putting them outside of city limits, and we're putting some inside city limits, depending on how the permitting process goes. But it's pretty simple, and just like he said, you're not alone trying to do this by yourself. Or how do you get started? I think it's one of this package that this asset class for modulars is one of the easiest classes to get started with, because the initial investment isn't as drastic as, hey, I need to build a single family home, or I need to build multifamily. I don't know where to get started. Where do I get the money? Stuff like that. It's these definitely one of the.
So when it comes to the money, whether you have land, it takes money to make money. I've said it again and again. Unless you have an investor, unless you have a cash injection of something somewhere, but the financing is traditional financing through commercial lending. You buy the land, they're gonna appraise the land. They're going to look at what you're building. They're going to appraise that. Pre-appraisal is what we always suggest. But when you do that, all of a sudden, let's say you budget that it's going to cost $150 a square foot. Well, let's say we come in at $120 or $130 a square foot. We're all in. All of a sudden, you just made that spread from your pre-appraisal. Then when you appraise it, that's actually worth $180 to $200 a square foot. So on paper, you just made all that money. And now, if you wanted to, I've done it a few times, you can take your initial investment back out and be at a cap 0. As long as it cash flows, why not? So all of a sudden, you got an asset class, after it's all said and done, getting passive income every single month with a rate of return of over 5 to 10%, depending on the area you are. Sometimes higher, depending like how much the land costs. If you did anything yourself, like septic, sewer. Did it have city sewer, city septic? Did you have that septic in plumbing, electrical, the whole 9 yards, right? But there's ways to make money on paper with just doing the deal and not having to work a 9-to-5 job just to make $50,000 a year, $60,000 a year.
Right.
One project could make you that. One project in 6 months.
So in this episode, I want to let's give them how to get started. I don't want to give them everything to the finish line. Let's give them 1 or 2 steps. Like, hey, if you're looking at doing investing, modular home investing, you might be a real estate investor now, but you're looking at, well, how do you get started in this? You might have some land. What are the first 2 steps that somebody can do right now to get started investing in, whether it's modular housing, whatever we're doing here? What's the first step that they need to do?
Well, I think the first step is making a decision. That's the first thing, is the mindset. Why are you doing it? Why do we want to go this route of investing? Why do we want modulars? Why do we want to go with something that's not traditional, right? That the market is calling for. That's the first step. Second step is, whether you're in a local city, local town, where, figure out in real estate, when it comes to buying and selling real estate, guess what's one thing that I could leave you here with today is that I was taught from the very beginning is location, location, location. It doesn't matter what you build. It doesn't matter. It's all about location, location, location. I could go spend $10 million in a project in the middle of nowhere, and it's going to lose money. Or I could go spend $5 million in a great location, great renters market, great job security market, and I could make double the return. Why? Location, location, location. Number one thing that you have to look for is, just because it's your hometown doesn't mean that's the right location. Just because you have this land beside the road and there's nothing on it, but you might think, well, guess what? Call your realtor. Hey, what's the rent rates right now?
Yeah.
Is it low? Is it high? Is it average?
Right.
You have to do some research in the location that you're wanting to buy. Is there a ton of rentals available? Well, guess what? If there's a ton of rentals available, that means, number one, you're probably in a flooded market. Because if you can get a rental house or a duplex or a triplex or a rental in any part of the community, and there's 50 available, guess what? It's probably flooded, and the market is not calling for more. Now, if you're in a market, and it could be a small town, some of these small towns best, because they have a lot of people, either they live there and drive to work somewhere else 30 minutes, 25 minutes away, or it's a tourist town, has a lot of people, but then there's no housing.
Mm-hmm.
You call your realtors, your property management. It's not hard. Ask Google property management in my area. Go to Facebook Marketplace, yep. Facebook groups, and you can. There's probably 5 or 10 property management companies in your area that manages over 75% of the rental in your community. And you ask them, hey, if I decided to bring 10 houses or 10 doors into this community, how soon can I rent?
What's the demand?
What's the demand? Are they
what are they asking?
1-1s, 2-3s, 2-2s, 3-2s? What are they calling for, right? And then you go down and say, all right, next, what's the best rate of return? Is it a 1-1? Is it a college town? Is it a 2-1? Is it a 3-2? Those are things that, number one, realtors will know, property management companies will know, because they know what's renting out, right?
And ChatGPT.
You can
ChatGPT can go research.
You can go have AI do the research for you, and it takes probably 20 minutes, right? We have so much information at the tip of our hands, but it's analysis paralysis every time.
Yeah.
You could have already been doing that. You already could have had that investment started, but guess what? You had analysis paralysis, and that stopped you from doing anything because you were too scared to even start looking.
Right.
Because you know there might be a risk that it might be successful. Then what? Oh my goodness, I just did a deal and it was success.
Yeah.
Definitely 100 guys like people are scared of is, the what ifs. People asked me and Kyler a few months ago, like, how did you guys do it? What was going through your head when you did the first deal or the first project? And I told him, I was like, honestly, I don't even know. I said, I just, in my head, I knew I had to do something. I had to move. I had to be going forward. You have to create the movement. And you cannot have analysis paralysis on everything that you do. Mm-hmm. If you think about it too long, you're going to have 7,000 reasons of why it's not going to work. It's mindset, number one. If you have a mindset that you're going to lose every time, 100%, you're going to lose every time. But if you have a mindset that this is going to work out, you always will find a way.
Every single time.
And we've accomplished 100,000% of our dreams that we wrote down 4 years ago. 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm 24. He's 26. But we wrote down dreams and goals that we had, not only as individuals, but as partners, as a company. What did we want? And we went after those dreams. They start with 100% writing down on a piece of paper. Write your goals down. And then we manifested every single day. And we just went out and did it. No matter what anyone was telling us, no matter what, if anyone said, oh, you're never going to succeed, we went and done it. Because we knew that the vision was greater than just us. We knew that there was something bigger out there for us than just living the 9-to-5 job.
You have to just do it. I mean, the research is at the tip of your fingers. Just like you can figure out what the rent growth has been in your town or the town that you're investing in by simple go to ChatGPT, get the research, and it goes and looks up all the websites for you. What's the current rent growth of the last 5 years? How many people are moving into the city? Are there any new jobs? You can find out all that, or you can pick up the phone. But he just said the first thing you got to do is make a decision. Analysis paralysis. Number 2, you got to have the right location. That's why you go do the research and say, hey, where is the best rent growth happening? Where's everybody moving to?
You can even use AI now, Kyler, to figure out, all right, if rent growth is this, what does my initial investment need to be?
100%.
You don't have to go to a banker and say, hey, how much can I afford to spend in this market to make it have an ROI? You know what? Ask AI that. Yeah. Ask him, if rent growth is 5% a year, my initial investment is $75,000 per door or $75,000 per square, anything. And you have it do the math.
Right.
You have it literally in 5 minutes.
Super simple.
But that's what I said, is most people will not do what's right in front of them. And they're always going to be like, man, I wish I would have done it 10 years ago.
Even when we did the first deal, it's been 5 years now. That first deal we did, you didn't even find out about it.
We didn't even know what we were doing.
No, we were just signing papers. But that ended up being the first of many deals that we did. And we're still, I feel like we're just now getting started into some bigger real estate. And it's exciting now because of what I've learned jumping into it. I've forced myself to understand it, to gain knowledge and wisdom from it, and to understand how do you make that first move. We just gave you the secret sauce of how we did it. We made a decision one day. I was literally flying back from a real estate event, and he showed me the first step to do, which is make a decision, find a perfect location where you want to do it, and then call a realtor, call the property manager, look at the rental rates there, see if it makes sense, do some quick math on the back end. Maybe your first deal you break even. Maybe your first deal you make 100,000. Maybe the first deal that you do, you make 250,000. You might just hit a jackpot. We've hit some jackpots. We've hit some that just literally, they've been just cash flowing. You might make $100 or $200 or $300 a month. You're going to have some of those deals, but when you go all in and you start understanding, you put yourself in there, real estate investing is not hard. I talk to people every single day, and the first thing they do is, I just don't know where to start. You've been saying that for 5 years. You've been saying that, and you keep saying that. You go on YouTube and you can figure out all these real estate podcasts. They're giving you the information how they got for free. You don't have to pay no course. You don't have to pay nobody. You can even team up with somebody that's investing. Hey, if you don't want to invest by yourself, then go invest in a fund and get your money in the real estate. Get your money in things that are growing instead of putting your money in a car that's going to lose value over time. That is the thing that I see all the time is when I'm talking to people, it's like, how did you get started? I made a decision. I picked out a location. Bro, we didn't even see the house before we bought it, our first house. We flew up there after we closed. Ended up being an awesome deal. That deal probably is going to make us 80 to 90K by the time we're going to be done with it. And it's been giving us return ever since. Our money's working inside of there. But the asset class we're talking about today, I want you guys to, for real, go and share it, TikTok or YouTube, look at a product, study it. And then the next episode, we're going to if this episode has been helpful, we're going to teach you guys, okay, once you figure out, make a decision, I want to invest money. I've got an extra, if 250K or 500K set aside, or I know someone that does, then you picked out a location, and then I talked to property managers. I called them. I said, hey, what's the rent rate growth going here? What's the over the last 5 years? What's the rental market been looking like? Has it been increasing 5%? Has it been increasing 7%? What's the town needing? Are they needing 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses? Are they needing affordable housing? It might be affordable housing. What are they needing? Then we're going to teach you guys, how do you go the next step? How do you make the decision? Okay, my town needs this. My budget is this. Boom, let's go. That's what I want to teach you on the next episode, because I don't want to overwhelm you guys on so much information that you don't know where to start.
And I think one last thing before we go is a lot of people get stuck at this is, Kyler, I love everything that you said, but I can't get anyone to believe in me, especially a bank, to finance me this. I just want you guys to know, we probably went through 5 to 10 banks.
Don't stop with the first bank.
You think that we didn't have to go to multiple banks with our vision
At 20 years old,
with no credit history? I was 20 and he was 22. No credit, nothing to our name. At that time, I was making around $250 to $500 a week.
Mm-hmm.
And, you go into these banks and you don't even have a sense of anything. You don't know what you're doing. And the bank, they're looking at you like you're stupid coming into this bank asking for money. But you don't have to just there's multiple ways, whether it's sub-2, whether it's owner finance. You can buy real estate. You can search YouTube. You can buy real estate with no money down. You can creative ways of buying finance. But people they stop at, okay, everything, I love it. I want modular houses on my property, but now I can't get funded. And that's where a lot of people just stop. They go to the first, whether it's their family, whether it's their dad, their brother, their mom, whether it's their banker, and they're like, no, we can't do that. We're a car finance bank. Well, guess what? You're at the wrong bank.
Yeah.
Number one. Not every bank is meant for this type of financing. Not every bank is meant for car financing. I can't go to banks that we bank with and say, hey, I want a car loan.
No.
Well, hey, in real estate, we don't do car loan. You'll have to go to a credit union for a car loan. That's what people don't understand is there's people that are certain about real estate that will absolutely love your project. There's other people that are gonna pick up this piece of paper with your deal on it, and they're gonna be like, Colton, this is ridiculous. No, you can't do that. Why? Because they have no knowledge of that either. You're talking to the wrong who's. After you find the real estate, the location, now next is finding who's.
Yep.
We're gonna leave you with that. But I think we've left you guys with enough to do your homework. And you don't have to call 60,000 realtors. You can call 1 realtor or 10 realtors like we did. You can go to, when we
Put in that work.
When we first started, there was nothing as such as AI.
No.
Now you can go to AI and AI can do all the work in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But most people don't even have an AI account because they're like, that's just not me. Then you're going to be stuck in the same place over the next 10 years.
Modular rentals, modular investments, this asset class, I guarantee it is taking over this world because it's affordable and you can make actual cash flow when you put these things on rental. Hope you guys love this podcast. Share it with someone that's wanting to invest in real estate. And if this is you, go home, do your homework, re-listen to this podcast 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, whatever it's going to take. Because I want you guys, the reason we're doing this is so you can have an asset that cash flows and puts money back in your pocket for you and your family. Hope you guys have an amazing week. Thank you for listening to the Tiny Home Podcast. See you on the next. Take the Mally thing out, bro.